"You need a wife, and I need a dad," said the little girl to the giant cowboy, and he turned, to the single mom in tears. The sun was sinking low over the dusty plains of Texas, painting the horizon in gold and crimson. The annual county fair buzzed with laughter, music, and the smell of roasted corn. Among the crowd, a man stood out, tall, broad-shouldered, with a weathered hat pulled low and boots that had seen miles of open road. His name was Luke Carter, a rancher known for his quiet strength and loner's heart. Ever since his wife passed 5 years ago, Luke had poured his soul into his ranch and his horses, keeping people, and feelings, at arm's length. He didn't come to the fair for fun. He was there to deliver a horse to the sheriff's charity auction, a beautiful chestnut mare named Daisy. As he handed the reins to the event host, he noticed a little girl sitting alone near the corndog stand, her white sundress dusty, her small hands clutching a stuffed rabbit missing one ear. Her golden curls shimmered under the fair lights, but her eyes, big and blue, held the weight of something too heavy for her age. Luke knelt beside her. "Hey, sweetheart, you lost?" The girl looked up. "No, sir. My mom's working the food booth. I'm just waitin'. She hesitated, then looked him over curiously. "You're really big." Luke chuckled softly. "Guess I am. Comes with bein' a cowboy." She smiled faintly, then said something that made him pause. "You look like the kind of man who could fix broken things." He frowned, surprised. "Maybe. Depends what's broken." "My mom's heart," she whispered. "It's been broken a long time." Luke's throat tightened. Before he could respond, a woman's voice called from across the fairgrounds, "Lila." The girl jumped up and waved. Her mother was wiping her hands on an apron, clearly exhausted. Stray wisps of hair stuck to her flushed cheeks, and her eyes carried both strength and sorrow. "Coming, Mama." Lila shouted, then turned to Luke with a shy grin. "Thank you, Mr. Cowboy." She started to run off, but stopped and looked back. "You need a wife, and I need a dad. Maybe you could talk to my mom." The words hit Luke like a slow, deep echo. Before he could even smile, the little girl was gone, darting into her mother's arms. He tried to shake it off, but that night, her words wouldn't leave him. "You need a wife, and I need a dad." They echoed through his empty ranch house, bouncing off the walls of loneliness he'd built so carefully. The next day, he found himself driving past the fairground. He didn't know why, maybe curiosity, maybe fate. He saw the same woman and her daughter packing up their stand, their old pickup sputtering before dying completely. The mother groaned, leaning on the hood in defeat. Luke pulled over without thinking. "Looks like you could use some help," he said, tipping his hat. She sighed. "Guess we could. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name yesterday." "Luke Carter." He extended a hand. "And you must be Lila's mom." She smiled softly. "I'm Emily." It took Luke 15 minutes to fix the truck. Emily watched as his rough, capable hands moved with patience and care. "You're good at this," she said. He shrugged. "Used to fix everything for my wife. After she passed, I just kept fixing things, except myself." Emily's eyes softened. "I'm sorry." They stood in silence, the wind carrying the scent of hay and distant laughter. Then Luke said quietly, "Lila's a bright kid. She's got a way of seeing things most grown-ups miss." Emily smiled, blinking back tears. "She's my whole world. Her dad left when she was 2. Since then, it's just been the two of us, trying to make it work." Luke hesitated, then said, "Maybe you don't have to do it alone anymore." Emily looked at him, startled, but before she could respond, Lila came running up, clutching a small bouquet of wildflowers. "Mama! I picked these for you." She paused, then handed one to Luke. "And one for you, Mr. Cowboy." He took it gently, his heart stirring in a way it hadn't in years. Days turned into weeks. Luke started stopping by their stand to help, fixing things, sharing meals, and teaching Lila to ride Daisy on weekends. The girl's laughter filled the emptiness in his home, and Emily's quiet grace softened the edges of his grief. One evening, as they sat watching the sunset from his porch, Lila leaned against him and whispered, "I told you, you just needed to talk to her." Emily blushed, and Luke laughed, a deep, genuine laugh that carried across the fields. Months later, at the county fair, the same spot where it all began, Luke knelt again, this time before Emily, holding a simple ring made from braided horsehair and silver. "Emily, you and Lila fixed more than you'll ever know. You gave me back a reason to live. Will you marry me?" Tears filled her eyes as she nodded. Lila squealed and hugged them both. "See, I told you. You needed a wife, and I needed a dad." The crowd around them cheered, but Luke only saw the two faces that made him whole again. And under the golden Texas sunset, a lonely cowboy found not just a family, but a home for his heart. Because sometimes, it takes a child's simple words to remind grown-ups what love truly means.